Hello everybody, welcome back to X-Plane 11. I hope you guys are doing well. And as promised, here is the Boeing 777-200LR. We're flying today in Delta colors from Boston to Detroit. Got a request to go to Detroit. We haven't been there in a while. We'll go ahead and do that today. This is the Flight Factor 777 extended package. This airplane was originally built for X-Plane 9, believe it or not. It got updates through 10 all the way to 11. I've done a few modifications. I'll talk about that with textures in the wing flex and all that. Everything will be linked in the description below. You can check it all out there. And we're pretty much ready for pushback. I'll show you the cockpit and let you know what's going on today. Welcome aboard the 777. We're using Pumper's texture mod, and it's fantastic. It makes the functionality of the airplane much better as well. So that's what we're doing with that. And then I have the seat texture flicker mod installed. There's a lot to it, but remember, you know, the airplane is very old, and it's taken a lot of love from the community to make it what it is today. But regardless, we are here. We're ready to fly it. We're going to initially depart on the Highland 5 departure. We're doing 18,000 on departure. We've got our heading set in there. We're taking off on runway 22 right. Winds are 240 at 14, and they were gusting to 21 earlier. It's going to be a bumpy ride on the way out today, such is Boston. So we'll put this into plan mode. I'm going to go ahead and throw this thing out here, and we're going to step through the flight and just show you what we're doing here. We're getting an intercept off of the departure of 22 right, and we go out to TJ intersection, and then from there we go out to Boat. We got here, Marb, and then Highland, and that's the end of our departure. Then we go all the way out to the VOR of Charlie Alpha Mike, and then Gons intersection. Danilo, that's the one coming into Detroit. There's the top of descent there. There's Viper. Gucci, we've got Wolfman, Mav, Top Gun, because this is the Top Gun 2, which is really cool. Then we got Hollywood, Chester, we got Ghost, and our radar, and then we get vectors for the ILS 22 left approach into Detroit. It's looking like it's gonna be pretty decent in Detroit, so we might end up doing a visual approach and hand fly the airplane. I want to hand fly it as much as possible. I just get a lot of fun from that when I do that, instead of just flying the magenta all the time, you know? Okay, so that's good there. I'll show you a little bit about what we're doing here. On the reference page, we've got flaps 15 departure. We are going to be V1 of 126, VR 126. V2's 143 plus 15 gives us 158 here in the MCP for our takeoff. So we're doing a thrust limit of takeoff just right here on takeoff. We're not even doing 1 or 2. We're just going to rock it on out of here. It's going to be awesome. Let me tell you there. Let's get our pushback situated. We'll get the gate pushed away by cycling that. There it goes. Wonderful. We'll get that beacon light on and we'll get a pushback.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, we're ready to release the parking brake for them, and they'll start the push on the way out.
Starting pushback. And
Starting this airplane is not that difficult. It's pretty automated. Before we do that, I want to show you the Avatab plugin that we use. And we've got, let's close that guy. I don't need you open. You can see our departure here. We're doing the Highland 5 departure RNAV. You can see our little airplane here. We're taking off at 22 right out to TJ, and that's what we're doing there. We have our airport diagram here. We're going to push out onto Alpha. We'll take Alpha down to November, cross 15 right, and then we will continue down on November 222 right for our departure today. That's what we're doing. But let's go ahead and fire the engines up. Let's go run mode for the fuel control there. And then all we have to do is come up here. We have auto start on auto, and we'll just start the engine on the right. All right, we're going to set the parking brake for them so they can disconnect, and we'll go run mode on the left engine.
Stand by.
And we'll go ahead and start engine 1. Okay, we've got the pin out there. Let's go ahead and set our flaps for departure, flaps 15. And those are coming down right now. All right, flaps are good. What's our trim today? Trim is 5.75 units of trim. Let's put this on the flight control page. 5.75. Let's go ahead and push that down to 5.7 or 5.8. We'll go 5.8 on that. That's good to go there. Flaps are 15. Let's do flight control check here. We've got left aileron. I've got right aileron. I've got forward on the elevator, back on the elevator. I've got left rudder and right rudder. Flight controls are free and correct. We'll go ahead and clear the lower display just like that. All right, wonderful. Let's go taxi over to 22 right. Taxi light on. Let's go. Parking brake off. We have our strobe lights on. We're crossing runway 15 right, and now we are continuing down November to 22 right. Almost down here to runway 22 right. We'll go ahead and turn our lane lights off. We're number 1 for departure here. All these guys come on. Strobe light comes on. Wing light comes on. We are clear for takeoff. Runway 22 right 4. We're Delta 711 heavy today. And we can go ahead and start the clock as well. Okay, weather radar comes on. We have our auto throttles armed. 220 on the heading if we need it. We're lining up on 22 right now. Lane lights all look good here. Wing lights good as well. We'll go ahead and we're going to bring them up to 50 and let them hold for a second there, and then we will engage toga power. All right, so we'll go up to 50. Using those BSS sounds. Fantastic. There they are right there. And toga. There's toga right there. Takeoff power is set. We're rolling. Using that right aileron in there for that crosswind. You can feel it a little bit here. There's 80 knots there. Using a lot of rudder here. There's V1. Rotate. She's lightly loaded, doesn't take much. Pause brake, gear up. I start our turn to the left here, flaps 5. Told you it's gonna be rocky on the way out of here. It is indeed. Keep an eye on that flight director there. There we go. It's a very shallow way up. Clean our flaps up here as we get out to 250. We're going to be hand flying the departure here because why not? That's the fun part of it, you know? There we go. Get on that flight director there so we can maintain that 250 knots. And turning out towards TJ. Yep. It is bumpy, man. I can feel it. For sure. Alright, there's the nose drop there a little bit. Bring those flaps all the way up. And now we'll head out to boat intersection. Bring that nose up a little bit more. There we go. Bleed off some more speed. But we're getting that 28 knot tailwind that's pushing us, so. Woohoo. Alright. Just so I can get some cinematic shots and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and activate the autopilot here. And we'll grab that LNAV. We're on VNAV speed, looking good. We've cleaned all that stuff up. We can go over here and taxi light can come off. Runway turnoffs can come off as well. And we're at 6,300 now and climbing for 10,000. All right, there's 10,000 right there. It checks. Lane lights will come off, and the wing light will come off as well. Now the airplane will increase its speed, and we're almost to boat intersection. Now we're going out to here. Passing through 18,000 feet, standard pressure. That's on both sides. All right, airplane is slowing down to our cruise speed, and cruise altitude has been reached. We can now make sure the seatbelts are in the off position so people can move about the cabin. We are right now 37 nautical miles to Charlie Alpha Mike, and then after that, we continue onward to Gons. And then not too much longer, but we have 121 knot headwind today, and that's keeping us pretty slow. Looking at the page down here, we can see what we've got going on with VNAV. Economy cruise is 0.83 on the Mach, N1 of 81.4%. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to hurt us a little bit, but that's all right. We have a cost index of 31 today. Cruising along here at 38,000 feet, 109 nautical miles to Gons. Looking down here, we can go ahead and look at what we're going to be doing for our arrival into Detroit. Flaps 30, 140, so we'll select that, put that in there. That's going to be 145 VREF for us today. We've got, in the NavRad page, 110.7 and 216. That looks right. And that's what we need to double check there. And then we're doing auto brakes of 2 for the landing today. We're just about to the Syracuse VOR here. And I wanted to let you guys know that I don't think I'm going to be attending Flight Sim Expo. We were told to not really be promoting it anymore, and they put out a survey. And I think that June is just going to come way too fast before this whole pandemic is over. So don't plan on going as of now. That may change. Who knows? They haven't said they were actually going to cancel it yet. But I just want to let you guys know, so we're all on the same page. So we're going to change things up. We're going to do the Cougar 2 RNAV arrival now, which is going to change things up a little bit more. I'm looking at the winds, and unfortunately in the real world, they're landing on the 2.2s, but for some reason, Active Sky's been giving me a lot of problems with winds lately, being incorrect by a lot. So we're going to have to go with what the sim's doing so we don't have a tailwind. We're going to do the Cougar 2 RNAV arrival. So a little bit of work to do on that. So arrival now, we're going to change up our star, and that's going to be the Cougar 2 arrival now. What we're going to have to do is clear our ILS approach there, and will be Cougar 2. That's going to be Danio again, or Danio. I don't know what it actually is. That's okay. And then we'll do ILS 4 right approach from there. And that's going to be a jelly transition. Not really worried about that. So we'll just go ahead and execute it. We're going to be set up for that. Let's make sure that that makes sense to us now once we get to our plan mode. All right, stepping through that, we got Viper, and then Gucci, and then there's Wolfman, Mav, Top Gun, and then we get down to Cougar, and then we go to Road, and all the way down there. And then once we get to Roy, we get Vectors, then we'll go direct to Jelly after that. Execute it. And that is going to make a lot more sense when it comes to the arrival into Detroit. I was just keeping an eye on the winds, and it just doesn't look like it's going to change from here. So we're going to go ahead and just change it up. Not a big deal. So looking at our approach here, there's Jelly intersection, and we can see where that is going to be at about 2,000 feet, or 3,000, sorry. And then it looks like ILS is going to be 200 for our decision height. So we're going to go ahead and just select that on the radio. To 200. We're it's about 20 nautical miles out to our top of descent. We're going to initially start down to 10,000 feet, so we'll just go ahead and put that into the MCP. And then we will go to the descend now page when we're about 15 miles out and get ahead of this thing. We have a headwind of 144 knots now, and man, it's just been killing our ground speed today. This wasn't supposed to be that long of a flight, but that's okay. It happens. On down to 10,000 initially. We'll make sure the airplane doesn't overspeed coming through there. And we're going to wait for that to get just about here into the middle. So it's 15 nautical miles out. We'll go down here to our FMC page, go to the VNAV page, next page, and then we have descend now right there. So that's what we're going to look at. And we can go ahead and start our way down now, actually. Let's go ahead and hit that button. There we go. Airplane's going to start. There's our RNP and AMP right there, and we're going to keep an eye on that. It's right on the money right now, so it looks like we're in a good spot to start our way down. Keep an eye on speed as well. Let's get those seatbelt signs back on for everybody back there so you guys can sit back down. And we have begun our initial descent into Detroit. Still on our descent, just about here to Wolfman, and 14 nautical miles is 280, and it looks like it's 240 there. On the way down, after Roy, we're going to be 216, and then vectors to the ILS. But right now I have 216 in the heading on the MCP, so we're ready to go on that. And we're just monitoring the systems right now, and it's all going well. Before we land, I was going to show you guys a little bit of the cabin, and you can see how it is modeled inside here. It even has all the way in the front. We got the Delta logo there, but in the front we have our first class passengers. And look at this little bar right here. Isn't that cool? Pretty darn neat. And then, man, you got the big chairs up here in the front. That's not so bad. Look at all the leg room you have. That's how you travel. That is how you travel. And you can see the engine out there. Fantastic. Below 18,000 feet, we are no longer on standard pressure, and we're going to go ahead and change this guy to 3047, so it needs to go up to 47. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. It's going to put us above 18,000, so it'll be in yellow, and then once we get underneath 18, it'll turn back to green. And you can see the arrival starting to pop up a little bit there. We can look on our Avatab and double check everything here. We're almost a Hunt. And then Cougar is 250 knots at 11,000, between 11 and 10. And then we head down towards Road and Roy. It's going to be overcast, so we're going to turn some of these panel lights up a little bit here so we can see what we're doing. We've got all of our green lights on as well. Airplane is doing what it should do. We're at 250 knots. We're keeping an eye on that speed. If we have to put out speed brakes, we will. But right now, it's looking like it's going to be A-okay as we get closer to Cougar intersection here. Over road right now and headed towards Roy. Remember, Roy's going to be 8,210 knots. All right, there's 10,000 feet breaking through the clouds. We're going to go ahead and turn our landing lights to the on position. Wing light comes on as well. Seatbelts are good upstairs. Wonderful. And we're just about perpendicular to the airport itself at 236 there. We can go flaps 5 here in a little bit. Just going to keep a little bit more speed forward right now since we've just spent so much time with that headwind on the airplane the whole time. I'm fine with having a little speed finally. We have 216 ready to go after Roy. Airplane is slowing to 210 knots as it should for the arrival. That's what we saw there earlier on the plate. So I am perfectly fine and happy with that. We don't have to use any speed brakes so far, so that's really good news. Hit 3 on that, and we'll put our speed brakes to the arm position now. And there's the runway Airport right on our right there. We're in the X-Plane 11 clouds that turns everything white. We know that and we love that, right? Yes. Keeping the flaps up for now. Like I said, keeping that speed going. And we're just going to basically break out here. We're going to hold around 4,000 feet just outside of Jelly and make that right-hand turn. And we should be pretty much good for an intercept on the localizer. It looks like we could probably do a visual approach now that we're well below this deck of clouds, which I'm perfectly fine with. So let's go ahead and go flaps 5. Speed checks for flaps 5. So there's Roy there. We're on vectors now. Heading 216 for that. I'm fine with it. We'll get ourselves set up for the intercept to that. Dingy day here in Detroit, but there's the lake, man. Looks very nice indeed. A little different color between the two tiles of ortho. That happens. But hey, at least we have ortho up here, right? That's pretty cool in itself. I'll put this into the 10-mile zone so I know exactly what I'm doing there. And the airplane is slowing down ever so slightly. We'll go flaps 5 in just a minute. We can always look over here at the right and see what our flap limit is. 235. So I like to be at 10 under, so 225. And we're below that right now. So we can actually go to flaps 5 if we would like to assist with slowing the airplane down. There we go. Because it wants to be at 210. It's supposed to be at 210. Let's go to vertical speed mode here. Continue that descent we have going here about, I don't know, 900 feet per minute speed here. We're going to bring that up to 190. So it's going to slow down even more. And now we can start our turn to the right and get ready for an intercept. How about them apples? All right, there we go. Looking good. Airplane slowing up. Wonderful. We're through 6,000 now, still headed down towards 4,000 feet. Here we are. We're going to get over there onto the other side where it's good ortho. Good ortho, that's what we want. Roll off here at heading 303. That's good. Hey, look at that. We even got some, looks like some clouds painted on the actual ortho tiles. And that's always fun as well. All right, so we're holding about 190 now. I'm happy with that. We could keep 210 if we wanted to, but hey, I'm not in a huge hurry for that. I don't want the airplane to get ahead of me. This is a big airplane to fly. Doesn't look like it wants to get an ILS on us today, so that's okay. Yep, I know. Oh, we gotta clear you. Auto throttle's off. Yep, my airplane. Pulling them on back. There we go. Slowing her down even more. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. We didn't get our ILS at all, so we're just gonna go visual, which is fine. We got plenty of that. 3,000 at Jelly, so we're gonna be okay as far as that goes. And we'll go gear down since we're at flaps 15 now and start our turn to the left. Get these out as well. There we go. We are clear to land on 4 right. Still slowing her down a little bit here. There we go. Remember, we're shooting for 145 on our VREF today, so we can go flaps 20. Speed brakes on, gears down. Looking A-okay here. Still slowing down even more. Healthy descent right here. Gonna go ahead and trim back even more. A little bit of power here. And flaps 25. When in doubt, we'll just fly the airplane. Not a problem. More power there. And flaps 30. think we have any VASI lights or anything here, so we're just pretty much going on visual. And this looks like a pretty decent profile right here. Bring up that nose a little bit more. If you're wondering what those tree textures are, that's part of the Orbix ones. I love those. A little more power here. That's 7 knots right down the runway for the most part. So that's good news for us. Nothing too crazy. For flaps 30, we're VREF, we're looking good here. And that's weird, the VREF doesn't seem like it worked out too well for us on our actual PFD. Keeping decent speed to the runway right now. This is only my second flight in this airplane in a very long time. Oh, they shut the lights off on us. Okay, that's cool. That's all right. Get back up on our VREF. Just maintaining this, looking right on our touchdown zone. Landing. All right, let's go ahead and start that flare. Come on, baby. There we go. Fly those down, reversers out. There we go. Keeping that little bit of crosswind correction in there for now. Hey, look at that. We got people clapping for us. 70, clear them. And we'll disarm the auto brakes. Welcome to Detroit, everybody. We fought the headwinds today. That's what we did. All right, we'll taxi down here. I'll make a right-hand turn. Actually, we have our little avatab here. And we can see where we're going. Gonna exit right here at looks like Yankee 5 for the most part. So Yankee 5, and then we'll take that back on Kilo 5. All right, let's get these speed brakes back forward. There we go. And we'll clean the airplane up once we get off the runway. Let's go and start that APU. There we go. Clean up the airplane, bring those flaps in. Welcome to Detroit, everybody. Welcome to Detroit, everybody. All right, APU is running. We're going to cross the runway here, and we're going to taxi and go park right next to that other Delta over there. That's where we are going. I think it's a 7-4 over there. So, yep, we're going to cross 9er left. We're going to continue down here, and then we'll go right over there where he is. About 2 hours today. Look at that. 2 hours and 5 minutes it shows right there. But that added about a half an hour onto our flight, all those headwinds. All right, turn the taxi light off, and let's taxi into the ramp. All right, parking brake comes out. Come on, there we go. And we're on APU. Yes, we are. So we can go ahead and kill our engines. Beacon light comes off. There we go. Seatbelt sign to the off position. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Detroit. Hope you enjoyed the flight today, and I will see you guys on a future one. Take care.